Hi, it's Jane with Scraptastic Yarns. Things have been a little crazy. You know, after prayer shawl has the knit and run, there's like this downtime and there's this period where we have to take everything that was not picked up to be delivered, but will be delivered later or picked up later, and we have to put it back away. Let me take my mask off. Sorry, it was my husband's disconnect day and we just came back from there. So, anyway, we had to also clean up the storage room at the church because the yarn that was in boxes for people, some of the boxes of yarn was up against a heater, and you know that's never a good idea with acrylic yarns. So we had a plan for over the past year to move some tables that they've used for storage in that area, and I believe I've shown you a video of that. But I'm going to insert some pictures or video or something the way it looked before we got that storage room cleaned up and the tables turned over here. Okay, I hope you can see the vast difference. But that is what we were doing last week, towards the end of the week, as well as the first part of this week. So I just missed some opportunities to video. I have plans on videoing the tic-tac-toe game. Haven't gotten to that yet. It will be done tomorrow, as well as sewing on bags and about 95 million other things, and it just didn't happen. So I thought I would show you some things that I have been making, and some of these are for the craft fair that I'm going to be at for the very first time ever being a vendor at. Just some facial scrubbies. I'm only doing a couple of those, and then a couple of scrubbies here and there. That's it for that portion. And then I have been knitting up some hats. And yes, there's a reason we're using the orange. Of course, these last three are with the Centro knitting machine. And because it's hunting season, we have that bright orange that nobody wants to take. So I thought this might be great gifts to give to the family, you know, for whoever's at the craft fair may want to pick them up. If they don't, fine. If they do, fine. You know, we'll find a place for them. Some of the other things that I have made is we found a video. Little John did a video a couple weeks ago about the Hyperbolic Crochet, where you make like a fiddle, an item they can fiddle with, you know, those with ADD and Alzheimer's, dementia. Well, this was my first attempt, and there are boo-boos because I swore what I heard on that video was knit 2, then put 2 in the next stitch all the way around. That was not the right way, and I kept thinking, it doesn't look right. It's not skinny enough or whatever. So then I went back, re-listened to it, and it is knit 1, knit 2 in the next, all the way around. And of course you do it like you do a Mobius scarf, where, you know, you knit however long you're going to do it, fold it over, and instead of knitting it joining it, you're actually flipping it, you know, to get that. So you have this nice little effect here where you're constantly, you can play and fiddle with. And so we've been working on those. And then I saw a video about Fidget Toys, and one of those was and it was using the 22 needle knitting machine, whatever one you have, but I don't have a 22 needle. I have the 40 and 48, so I thought, well, I can knit that up. So I decided that I could do 24 stitches, and I thought, nah, that's not big enough, so I do 36. And I was thinking I'd make this long tube and then fold it over, and I'm like, okay, it's thick enough, I don't need to fold it over. So this one, I decided I'm just going to stop, and then you put like a marble or button or one of those glass gems, you know, in it. And this is one of the little gems. I'm going to show you the gem. These are the ones you get at Dollar Tree, and they are less than an inch in size. They are about 3/4 of an inch, and these are too small for just, you know, that tube, whatever. So then I made another one with just the one in there, and yeah, you can play with it. You're just moving, you know, the bead button up. And then I got this bright idea that, well, I have some large buttons, you know, some of those favorite things from Walmart. So I decided to put a button in there, but this button had some issues because it's got some rough edges on it and it keeps snagging. And I'll show you the type of button this one is. I do have some regular just flat buttons that I can use. But this is one of those that on this side it looks like this, and on this side it looks like this. And so there were some issues with it because sometimes you get rough edges on that. So Jane, you know, had some extra yarn laying there like little pieces. So Jane thought, well, I could glue the buttons together. And I thought, I don't want to glue the buttons. Why don't I just tie them together? So that's what I did. Tied them together. And then where I cut my ends right here, I put fabric tack. It helps keep it from unraveling. It kind of gives it a little glue so it sets in there. And then this one has buttons, you know, they're sewn together. It's much easier. It's much larger. As you can see, the button goes the entire length. And this is basically just I did 15 stitches on a size 8, US 8, 5mm needles. I used double pointed because I hate doing a lot of sewing. So the only thing you have to do is finish this off and then finish off the end. And I thought, well, if I'd have done a provisional cast on, I could have done it the same way as this one. Of course, I wasn't thinking that far ahead. So that's what I wound up doing with that. Okay. That's basically all I'm doing, except sewing. You know, I have quite a few bags over here ready to go. I have some Sally and Jack bags. And these are zippered bags, most of them. And they do have a pocket on the inside. And then a spot for your stitch markers to be placed. And I think I have 3 of the, Sally and Jack. And then I have 3 of this one. And they all have pockets on the inside. And then I have 2 of this cat with the cat eyes. We still have a lot more sewing to do. And then I have one which is a tote bag This one does have the key ring on the inside and the pocket on the inside. It just needs some snaps put on it. Now this one is done the same way, except it does not have a pocket, doesn't have the key rings, and it'll just be a basic tote with the snaps. And then I have one in this lovely print that is just a drawstring. And then I have a couple more that are just, you know, different shades of the pumpkins, different colors with the leaves. And then I have a couple of bags of these that need to be sewn up together. And I think these are just going to be plain totes, because they're a pretty good size. But I still have to finish those. Like I said, things have just been busy. And you know, Monday when we were sorting the yarn and sorting through everything, we counted out 150 prayer shawls for UPMC's different breast centers for them to hand those out. And we still have to get those delivered. That's 6 large moving boxes. So it's pretty good size. And yeah. So let me show you the rest of what I have. Had to change out the battery. And then we had a little bit of an issue with the, like I said, the battery issue. So stuff happens, right, when you're filming. Now for Judy at Witch Pieces October make-along, the birthstone make-along, the color was opal, and I chose to use one of the natural opals, which is basically considered black, but it's actually a really deep navy blue. So I used dark navy, and then I used a variegated that has some of the purple hues, a little touches of white, that kind of stuff, and did 4 rows of each color. Now, I do not know what this yarn is. This was a cake that either someone caked up at Prayer Shawl or I picked up at Scraps and Skeins. No label. And I believe someone had asked me, the granny square rectangle blanket that I was making had asked me about the center, which was like some hot pinks, orange, blue colorway in it. I didn't bring that up with me. But I don't know what that one is either. It was just a ball that I had. So there you go. That's it for there. Now, I want to show you a little bit on my 3-color challenge. Yeah, it's going slow because life is getting in the way. I have a lot of other things to do. Although I do plan on taking this with me. Thomas's next chemo treatment, which is in 2 weeks, because since he's anemic, he gets to have iron infusions. Iron infusions take 3 to 4 hours, so he will have his chemo. We'll get there like 7:15 in the morning. He'll have his chemo about 9 o'clock, supposedly starting, which means he should get out of there about 11:30, and then at 2 o'clock he gets to go for a iron infusion for 3 to 4 hours. So I'll have a lot of crochet time on my hand that day. So that's all I've been doing. That's it. I do want to tell you, there is someone who is collecting hats and scarves, and she is in need of those, so I'm going to tell you about that. This is Roni at CrochetByNight. She is in Oklahoma, Seminole, Oklahoma, and she is doing the Happy Holiday Tree giveaway. She is social worker by day, crochets by night, hence the name of her channel. But she has a beautiful giveaway that is going along with this. That since she's in need of hats and scarves, she's going to give you a chance to win an Amazon gift card in the amount of $100. And YouTube creators, you can get a possible second chance who call out this, because you'll get your separate chance to win an Amazon gift card of $100 also. So I'm going to link the video down below. It'll be on top of the What in Tarnation links. And then those donations are being taken from October the 7th through the 31st, 2021. And she will draw that approximately 2 p.m. on November the 2nd, Central Standard Time. And while we're at it, let's talk about ClassyKim. ClassyKim is also in need of mug rugs and round coasters, preferably made out of cotton. You can use your scraps. She is doing that. As you know, she is recovering from some breast surgery. So she has determined that this is a way for her to give back, a random act of kindness. So if you'd like to help her with all your scraps, you know, perhaps that you've made for all those dishcloths you made for Rose, for wings, this would be a great opportunity to help ClassyKim and to provide more items for people to find and take home and love. So check those two ladies out. Both those links are going to be down below for you. And yeah, they're both great causes. They're all great causes. I was trying to get this tic-tac-toe game filmed, but time just got away from me. Like I said, that will be filmed Friday during the day, and then I will get that out for that evening. This will make a great toy for boys with tic-tac-toe. It's a fairly safe one. You can use it for Operation Shoebox, for those kind of gifts. I know a lot of churches, a lot of organizations. In fact, Hobby Lobby, when you walk in the door, they say, take a shoebox, Operation Shoebox, so that they can also fulfill those needs. So keep those things in mind as you're working up. A lot of items. There will be some more places for you to give for charities. You know, check out your local area to see if you have maybe a Warm Up America group that meets at a church, or Project Linus, anything like that for you to give locally. But other than that, as you know, there are quite a few of us in the community are doing things like Rose with Wings, Billy with the babies on the reservations. You know, there's just a lot of need out there. And this year, there's going to be even a bigger need. Because apparently toys are going to be hard to find by Christmas season, because you can't get those things out of there. A lot of people are saying that it's because there aren't workers to unload the boats, which is true. Then you have, on top of that, California put in this new rule about trucks. You had to have new trucks that were 2011 or younger. They weren't going to approve any trucks that were on the road as of 2010 or 2010 models because of their emissions and other stuff. So you have a lot of truckers that can't afford to buy a new truck. Trucking companies, you know, that aren't willing to drop a dime on that right now because inflation, you know, they're worried about that too. So there is that issue with California and those trucks, not having a lot of trucks on the road, being able to get them on the road, those kind of things. And of course, the ships, everything's delayed. United States Post Office is slow walking a lot of their deliveries as a money-saving thing. Although they've charged us extra for this year, as they do at the holiday time anyway. But that's another aggravation. So, and this is a word that I'm going to give to a lot of you. those of you that crochet, knit, a lot of items, crafts that you sell in your Etsy shop, those kind of things, you may see an uptick in business this year because a lot of people are unable to find items for Christmas, those things. So, you know, you might want to keep that in the back of your mind as you're creating these things for your shops or Etsy shops, you know, Artfire, whatever shop you have. So keep that in the back of your mind. You may be able to help out some people and get some kids some, you know, toys, stuffies, those kind of things. But yeah, there's that. All right, are you ready for a little wad intonation? Oh, before I do wad intonation, we the Prayer Shawl Ministry made a huge order to Hobie for yarn, and it's stunning yarn. There was a great sale, so I spent about $787 on yarn, and to my dismay, 2 huge boxes were on my front step. But here's a picture of those yarns. Great yarns. Lovely. We're loving it. Of course, those won't be out for the Prayer Shawl Ministry to actually use till probably January, possibly February. And I'm placing another order in about a week or so. Just because I haven't seen a big sale like I've seen in the past, so I'm just waiting. But this one will be about half that size. So hopefully there'll only be one huge box. And of course, the biggest box that had all the mega balls in it was on my front step, and the bottom was soaking wet. It had just been delivered about 20 minutes prior to I went out to get it. And of course, it was raining that day here. But it had stopped raining, but my porch was still soaking wet. They set it on the porch. So the bottom of the box was absolutely, let me put it this way. When I went to move the box, it fell apart. So I had to hand carry all of those. And actually, I have a shopping cart that holds about 250 pounds since I'm doing a lot of the shopping without Thomas now. So I went and got the cart and filled the cart up, threw it in the car. So there's a bunch of pictures of it in the car. But of course, you know, Hobie always gives you a candy treat. Do you know when you spend close to $800, they don't just give you one. They just throw a bunch in the box. So I have a couple left over, handed some out to some people. So it's good candy. You know. All right. Now let's go for a little wad intonation. Wallet lost in early 1970s returned to Kansas owner. Police in Kansas said a wallet that was returned to its owner had been missing since the early 1970s. The Great Bend Police Department said in a Facebook post that a wallet recently was turned into the department by a member of the public, and officers found several items including a social security card, a driver's license inside, although the license had expired in 1974. The department said officers were able to get in contact with the wallet's owner, who now lives in Lawrence, Kansas. The owner told police he had lost the wallet in the early 1970s. He was tickled and shared with us that he had made the wallet himself. Now, this next story, the video shows the fellow that, had to work with moving the bees. And I'm kind of like him. I don't want to move that many bees because it's crazy. But thousands of bees removed from vacant Atlantic home. Thousands of bees were removed from a vacant house in Atlanta after neighbors said they lived in fear of the insects for several weeks. And you can actually see why. Residents living near the empty home said they first started noticing bees swarming around it in the spring, and the number of insects had been gradually increasing ever since. I'm afraid to come out of the house sometimes, Matthew sees, who lives next door to the house, told WGCL-TV. I never went by the house because I was afraid of bees and getting stung. A bee removal service hired by the property owner arrived Thursday and removed thousands of bees from the exterior and interior of the home. Sees said workers told him they removed an estimated 98% of the bees. Dave Marshall, director of Metro Atlantic Beekeepers Association, said the property owner did the right thing by hiring a professional service to perform the removal. The honeybee population has been struggling in recent years, so that's why it's more important that we're doing the right thing for the honeybees, and that's not killing them if we do run into problems, he said. Somebody could try and kill them on their own, but it's really not a good idea. The Metro Atlantic Beekeepers Association said attempts at amateur bee removal also could result in a foul smell from thousands of dead bees inside the walls of the structure, and the honey left behind by the felled insect could attract rodents and other pests. I'm sure you guys have been driving along and you see something on the side of the road and it says free to take. Free boat abandoned on a Wisconsin highway. Authorities in Wisconsin are reminding residents to dispose of unwanted boats properly after a vessel was abandoned on a highway with free painted on its side. The Wisconsin State Patrol said in a Facebook post that troopers responded to a call for service in Washington County and discovered someone had abandoned a boat on Highway 33. The boat had free painted on its side. Disclaimer: this is not the proper method for disposing a boat, the post said. The post said troopers are frequently confronted with baffling sights while patrolling highways. And I've heard a lot of those stories. We cover thousands of road miles every year running across a variety of unusual things alongside the roadway, the WSP said. And when my daughter was young, going through her heart issue and surgeries and back and forth to Albuquerque, New Mexico from Roswell, our next door neighbor was a state trooper. And some of the stories he told us of things on the road, strange. Firefighters. Woman stranded on cliff was a movie mannequin. Firefighters called to a California beach to conduct a cliff rescue arrived to find the reported person clinging to the rocks actually was a mannequin from a movie shoot. The Santa Barbara County Fire Department said witnesses at Hope Ranch Beach called 911 to report a woman appeared to be stranded on the side of the cliff without proper climbing gear. Fire trucks arrived, drones and utility vehicles, but the would-be rescuers soon discovered the woman was actually a mannequin from a movie shoot days earlier. The department tweeted, The department said the witnesses did the right thing by calling 911. Better to call than not, the tweet said. This next one is one of my favorite videos. If you've ever been on Broad Street in Philadelphia, there are unusual things that you see. I've never seen this. Loose cow runs on busy Philadelphia street. A driver in Philadelphia captured video of an unusual scene that unfolded when a loose cow went running on a city street. The video posted to Twitter shows the driver traveling behind a cow, running in a lane of traffic before the animal shifts its path to the concrete divider. The Philadelphia Police Department confirmed a cow was loose in the Broad Street and Erie Avenue area about 11:12 a.m. Tuesday. It was unclear where the cow came from or how it ended up loose on a city street. Police said the bovine was safely captured and returned to its owner. I blame Dee for this next story. Her and those squirrels she has loose all over the place. Squirrel fills now North Dakota man's pickup with 42 gallons of walnuts. A North Dakota man said he has removed about 42 gallons of walnuts from his pickup truck after a squirrel apparently chose the vehicle as its winter storage area. Bill Fisher of Fargo said he repeatedly spotted the red squirrel climbing on his Chevy Avalanche while it was parked outside his home, and he discovered the small animals filling the vehicle with a large amount of walnuts from the tree in his yard. A lot of places. In the radiator fan, all the way through here, that corner has been covered full with walnuts, Fisher told WDA-TV. He was planning on camping there for the winter. He said the walnuts are the work of a single squirrel. I had to pull the fenders off and clean out all the walnuts out, and thought I had them all and took it down the road, turned the corner, found one rolling inside the windshield. Where the wipers go, he said. The man said he removed 42 gallons of walnuts from various locations in and on his truck, but there are some he can't reach. I have some rolling around the frame rails wells. That's hard to say. As well that I can't get to, Fisher said. And so, the squirrels have run amok in Dakota. All right, that's it for today. Everybody have a great day, and I will see you again soon. And remember, be kind to one another. Love one another.